How often do you ever tip the waitress? How much do you tip her? Now, Mr. Prospect, in all fairness, if you tip the waitress $1, I'd circle the $1 several times, just for bringing the food from the kitchen to the table, don't you really think your wife deserves at least 3 cents? I'd circle your wife and 3 cents several times for shopping, cooking, serving, storing, and cleaning. Oh, how's that? Why do you say that? I finally asked one of them, why does everyone want to know what Mr. So-and-so's going to do? What are you talking about? Isn't that interesting? What are you talking about? Were you sincere last night? Don't ever ask a person if he was telling the truth. That's an insult. When you said you felt you could save at least $1 a day by cooking in our set of cookware. Well, certainly you could save at least $1, couldn't you? Well, if it will save you $1 a day to have the set of cookware, that means it costs you $1 a day not to have the cookware, doesn't it? What I say is not important, since if it's your money, what I say is not important, since it is your money. What do you say? Actually, you can take the suppose out, can't you? Instead of saving $1 a day, if I were to talk about saving 50 cents a day, that would be ultra conservative, wouldn't it? Okay, if this set of cookware will save you 50 cents a day, that means every 2 days you don't provide your wife with this money-saving cookware, she reaches into your pocket, takes out a brand new crisp $1 bill, tears it up into a lot of little pieces, and throws it away, doesn't it? Now, Mr. Prospect, do you realize that on the basis of losing 50 cents a day, every 40 days, you and your wife take a brand new $20 bill and literally tear it all to pieces and throw it away? As you read about me tearing up that money, did you feel a slight hitch in the pocketbook? You might imagine yourself sitting there as the money was being mutilated. Mr. Prospect, what did you think when I tore up that dollar bill? What did you think when I tore up that dollar bill? What did you think when I tore up that $20 bill? Mr. Prospect, whose money was that? Yet you really felt physical pain when I tore up that money, didn't you? Mr. Prospect, can I ask you a question? Don't you feel even closer to money that's your very own? What are you getting at? Mr. Ziegler, what would I tell my neighbors? What can I tell my neighbors? Why was he asking it? Since you've got to pay for it whether you get it or not, doesn't it make sense to go ahead and get it? Which would suit your needs best? As a reader, if there were a single cassette recording which teaches you how to train and use your voice, how to ask questions, how to tell stories, how to use your imagination, paint vivid word pictures, and make more sales, you would be interested in knowing about it, wouldn't you? If this recording was 60 minutes in length and was done in front of a live audience by yours truly, so you would know that I was sharing with you instead of talking to you, that would be even more exciting, wouldn't it? Yes or no? If I personally guaranteed the recording would motivate you to want to be more professional and specifically teach you how to be more professional and sell more, you'd really like that, wouldn't you? If you could acquire this tape for just $3 to cover production, shipping, and handling costs, that would be more than fair, wouldn't it? If you take action on this offer, you'll have to agree that at least one of the techniques in this book works, doesn't it? Are you having trouble with too many prospects who want to think about it, sleep on it, talk to my mate, lawyer, banker, CPA, check around, etc.? You do know that procrastinators bring out the procrastination syndrome in others, don't you? With this in mind, is it clear to you that the best way to get action from others is to take action yourself? Mr. Prospect, I can do something for you at this moment that no other insurance man in America can. That's obviously going to elicit the question, what's that? Is this legal, Mr. Ziegler? Honey, what about it? Honey, what about that? Do we want to marry him? Mr. Ziegler, now this is legal, isn't it? You're not going to get us in trouble. Well, why not? How do I adopt it to fit my situation? How do I adapt it to fit my situation? Why in the world should I buy from you since your price is the highest and your service is the poorest? Well, what in the world would Willie say about that? Since so I've got two choices. I can walk out of here right now and forget about it, or better yet, why don't you let me give you the selling attempt the way I normally would because I have all this material prepared? Is that fair enough? Gentlemen, is there anything about this plan you do not like? Is there any reason you can think of that you don't want to get started right now? Is there any problem in giving me a check for $3,800 immediately? Now what do I do? How do I handle this? Where is the manager to help me? We'll get you examined by a doctor and we're both covered. Is that fair enough? Everything else was equal, but would you believe we liked the way the Frieden clicked better?